Welcome back to Gale at Night. This is one of those stories that sounds unbelievable until the federal paperwork drops. Because what started as a gun case involving Pooh Shiesty has now escalated into a federal kidnapping and armed robbery conspiracy tied to Gucci Mane. And as of today, a federal judge has already ruled there's enough evidence to move this case forward. So let's take this back for a second because this didn't just come out of nowhere. Back in January 2022, the U.S. Department of Justice announced that Pooh Shiesty pled guilty to a federal firearm conspiracy. And that case was built off multiple incidents. July 2020, a shooting at a Memphis gas station. October 2020, an armed robbery in Florida involving drugs, sneakers, and firearms. May 2021, a firearm-related assault at a Miami strip club. So when people look at what's happening now, there was already a documented pattern. He was sentenced, served time, and was released in October 2025 after completing a part of a 63-month sentence. Now let's fast forward to April 1st, 2026. Around 6 o'clock a.m., federal agents executed a raid at a home in Cordova, Tennessee. We're talking the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the Alphabet Boys, along with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Neighbors reported hearing flashbangs. So this wasn't routine. This was a full-scale federal operation. The property was linked directly to Pooh Shiesty and his family. Authorities confirmed they had both search warrants and arrest warrants. But at the time, they didn't say who the target was or what the investigation involved. So what made this even more serious, he was just days away from supervised release on April the 11th. Then on April 2nd, everything changed. Federal prosecutors unsealed a 32-page complaint and what it described as what they're calling a coordinated armed takeover. According to investigators, this all goes back to January 10th, 2026 in Dallas, Texas. The allegation is that Pooh Shiesty, his father, and 7 others carried out a kidnapping and armed robbery targeting Gucci Mane. According to the complaint, 3 victims were held at gunpoint inside a recording studio. 1 victim was choked to the point of near unconsciousness. Cash and high-value jewelry was taken, including a Rolex and a 1017 chain. But the key detail was the motive. Prosecutors alleged this was an attempt to force a contract release from Gucci Mane's 1017 label. Not business, not legal negotiations. It was an armed situation. And this is where the case becomes extremely serious because investigators didn't just bring up accusations, they brought layers of evidence. Anchor monitor data placing Pooh Shiesty at the scene, social media posts showing stolen jewelry shortly after the incident, license plate readers and cell phone data tracking coordinated travel from Memphis to Dallas, surveillance footage from the studio, a nearby Staples, and a Dallas hotel. Physical evidence, including the fingerprints recovered from inside the studio. So this isn't speculation. This is reconstructed timeline backed by digital, physical, and forensic evidence. And when you look at the scope of this investigation, you've got multiple agencies involved. The Alphabet Boys, the FBI, ATF, local departments across different states. This case is tied into initiatives like Project Safe Neighborhoods and the Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force, programs specifically designed to identify and dismantle violent criminal networks. Meaning this wasn't random, this was targeted. Now, here's what happened today, April 3rd, 2026, and this is critical. A federal judge in Memphis has ruled that there is probable cause to support the kidnapping and robbery charges. That means, based on the evidence presented so far, the case is officially moving forward. During today's detention hearing, prosecutors reveal even more. They say the group allegedly lured Gucci Mane to the Dallas studio under the guise of a business meeting, only to carry out what they described as a coordinated armed takeover. And here's another major detail. Investigators say that Big 30, he allegedly recorded a video of Gucci Mane signing the contract release at gunpoint. According to prosecutors, that phone was later destroyed. But even without it, the judge found the remaining evidence strong enough to proceed. Now, as of now, Pooh Shiesty remains in federal custody in Dallas. His father has been granted home incarceration, the strictest form of bond. Several co-defendants have appeared in court with some bond decisions still pending. And the final update is the last remaining suspect, Terrence Rogers, has now been arrested in Atlanta. So at this point, all 9 defendants are officially in federal custody. And this is where everything really comes together, because when you look at the full timeline from the earlier incidents to the federal conviction to release, and now this, it tells a bigger story. And when federal agencies build a case like this with surveillance, digital tracking, multiple jurisdictions, and coordinated operations, that means they didn't just react. They watched, they documented, and then they moved. So now the question isn't just what happened, it's what happens next. Because with probable cause already established and this level of evidence on the table, this isn't just a headline. This is a case that could change everything moving forward.
9 suspects involved in the robbery and kidnapping of rapper Gucci Mane have been arrested. Officials say the alleged ringleader behind the attack was rapper Pooh Shiesty. Our Preseda Olguin has been on top of this story and has the latest.
Aside from learning that the 9th and final suspect has been arrested, we've been able to obtain video which shows the FBI at Pooh Shiesty's home the day he was arrested. Take a look at that video. This happened in Memphis. Federal authorities say Shiesty was the ringleader behind the attack on Gucci Mane here in Dallas. That incident happened back in January at a music studio located off Dallas Parkway. The DOJ says Gucci Mane and 2 others were allegedly kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint. They say 9 people were involved, including Pooh Shiesty's father and Big 30. For background, Pooh Shiesty signed onto Gucci Mane's record label back in 2020. And according to the DOJ, Pooh Shiesty is the one who set up the meeting to discuss his recording contract.
As alleged, Williams Jr. produced an AK-style pistol and forced one of the victims to sign a release from the recording contract at gunpoint. The remaining conspirators displayed firearms and robbed the other victims of Rolex watches, jewelry, cash, and other high-value items.
Pooh Shiesty was released from federal prison in October and was placed on home confinement for a previous conviction, meaning that it's likely he was wearing an ankle monitor at the time of the crime. Officials say all 9 suspects will be transported here to North Texas, where they will face their crimes. Now, if convicted, each suspect can face life in prison.
So what are your thoughts on this case? Drop them down in the comment section below. Be sure to click the like button for me and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you in the next video. This is Gail at Night. Thank you all for watching and thank you for supporting. Be sure to click the like button and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and set the bell to all.